What's going on, people? Assuming there are people in the chat. We did start. Listen, I say that because I was in a complete rush. Yeah, I had to come from the bank, sort something out that didn't even get sorted by the most racist lady I've ever met in banking. Yeah, Chase Bank, you lot need to do something about your staff. Yeah, I don't care, blood. Yeah, because I'm about to take that situation further. But yeah, man, just literally put out the advert like 5 minutes or so before. So, not really expecting too many people in here right now. But to those that do join later on, make sure you do smash up that like button and you leave your thoughts down there in the comments as well. I see Goose is in the chat. Goose is here for the Arsenal bants. Don't know if I might wait a couple minutes. All right, the room's building up now a little bit. That's better. There we go. Peoples are turning up. Big up everyone that's turning up. Matisse, big up yourself as well. How are you feeling?
Bro, I'm ready for the season to end. I'm ready for the season to end. The FA Cup final defeat was like the last amount of energy I could give to the season. And you can't even really get at the team too much. I feel like my review was probably more on the emotional side, obviously because it's the day of. When I look about the situation a few days later, I'm not as annoyed because at the end of the day we lost on penalties. We know the issues with the team. We know they can't finish. So it's frustrating. It's predictable as hell. And we lost the same way we lost to Carabao. I think this time Liverpool played slightly better, but we still lost just via penalties, and it's always tough. And I really just wanted the trophy, man. Again, these FA Cups, I really rate them. Do you know what I mean? All the last 3 FA Cups, I want them every single time. The Carabao Cups, I want them because it's all adding onto your trophies. It's all adding onto your Wikipedia page, just stat padding them trophies up. It's getting us closer to Arsenal in terms of trophies so we can leapfrog them. So I want every single possible trophy. So when we lose finals, it just hits me differently. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd rather lose a semi-final or a quarter. Because Champions League, I don't really feel no way because it was the quarterfinals. It is where it is. Do you know what I'm saying? It happens. We fought back. We tried our best. If we lose a Champions League final, you man won't see me for like 2 weeks. Like for real. Not on any platform. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just tough, man. It's tough to take because we're so close, but at the same time, we know we have so far to go. On a one-off game with Liverpool this season, we've drawn every single game and we've lost a couple games on penalties. But we know in terms of the team, there's so much to do. So whether we'd won or even if we had won, I still would have been saying the same thing that we need a lot of change at the club. We need to get things sorted. So yeah, man, it's just long, but that's me done in it. Like Arsenal lost in it, so we've qualified. That's it.
Well, another thing that feels something that is so close yet so far is the finalization of this takeover situation with Chelsea Football Club. Although recent reports over the past day or two have been optimistic that, the government, because that seemed to be the last stumbling block with that, the scaremongering that came out the other day. At this point, it was a fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice type of situation. Do you know what I mean? So me and Junior spoke about that. We took it with a pinch of salt. The very next day, you could see that, the papers are coming out. They're saying it's coming towards an end or whatever. But bloody hell, can we have an announcement that Chelsea are able to turn the lights on? Yeah, there's still food in that fridge. I'm sure that cafeteria is stinking. There is still rotten. There's rotten meat in that fridge now. We have to switch on to the most. I need this done before the transfer window, please. So, like, these clubs don't take more advantage than they already are, knowing that Chelsea are unable to operate at the minute. But that's a story for another day. And at least we are not Arsenal, a team that we will definitely be coming on to later. Trust me, because they thought it was only Troopz that was going to get it in the last stream. But I thought part 2 will be Rasta. You are going to hold some corn today, mate. Love you, but you're going to hold some corn later on. But first, we need to talk about Champions League qualifying Londoners, pride of London, Chelsea Football Club, who have been in the Champions League within the past 6 years, by the way. I may add that interesting fact. Yeah. Arsenal have not been in the Champions League. I believe this could be, is it the 6th or 7th year they're going into no Champions League?
I've lost count.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point.
Count.
It's just humiliating.
This is normality. This is normality.
I'm just happy we're not them. But we have a game against Leicester. To me, this is not a limbo. Okay, I don't know what happened there.
Is my connection bugging
went
as
as
well?
well. I don't know why
Someone's connection bugging.
mine is doing that. Both of them went, but we're both good now, yeah?
Yeah, let us know in the chat whose connection is bugging, innit? It's name and shame.
Yeah, let's name and shame. Usually,
I think it might be.
oh my God. Don't do this to me.
I think it might be. I think it's you.
It's not me.
I think it's
not me.
I think it's not, I don't think it's me because I got full bars.
All right. Okay. I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out and I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to come out and then you jump back in. Yeah. Hold on.
All right, cool. Yeah. Okay, I'm all right. Well, that's great, isn't it? Because usually it's me that's getting mocked. I remember when I was in Ireland, everyone was like, you got this KFC Wi-Fi, this McDonald's Wi-Fi FC, you out here using Tesco mobile. And now it looks like I've risen from my ruins, but I will be back in Ireland soon. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But yeah, listen, with this ownership thing, I didn't do a video on it because I just thought that it's not worth the time of day. At the end of the day, when it comes to these fear-mongering, scaremongering, you've seen the way the whole process has gone on and people have been, you know, trying to fish, trying to cause uproar because they need the clicks and they're going to get the clicks from Chelsea fans who are living on edge, literally watching minute to minute how this ownership situation is happening. If you're just relaxed and you're calm and you just let it happen, innit? It will get done. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't see any logical reason as to why Roman suddenly wants to liquidate Chelsea and have them go under for his money when he's been involved in the process this whole time. He's not going to suddenly just wake up and decide, you know what? I'm going to liquidate the club. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to let them go under. So all of this reporting, all of this fear-mongering, scaremongering, it's all designed to get clicks. It's all designed to get headlines. And like I said, you just have to not fall for the bait. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we've been here for a while now. We know what's going on. It's been happening the whole time. So you just have to just hold it. Do you know what I'm saying?
What the fuck is going on?
Yo, Guni's bugging today. I was with Statman on Twitch and he was bugging as well.
What the hell is going on?
Run the stream, bro. Me and DG had to run it. Me and DG was running the stream.
What happened with yours as well?
No. This is on Statman's show on Twitch. Statman was, I think it might be, if it's not you, it might be StreamYard because I did just come from Twitch and Statman was also lagging. So maybe the host is just struggling constantly. Because me and DG were fine and we were just vibing in there hosting the show. But this is the second time it's happened in like the last hour and a half or two. So I don't know what's going on. It's a long day.
I might have to leave you to run the thing until I figure this out, bruv, because this is getting on my nerve.
I mean, I can't move comments, but I can sure talk.
There you go. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. This is going to be the Matisse takeover for however long is needed, but I'm going to try and fix this situation. I'll be right back.
All right. Well. Looks like you're stuck with me, huh? You bastards. Well, listen, let's talk, man. Let's talk. Obviously, ownership situation is something else. Yeah, it's lagging for him. So I think it's better he just comes out and sees what's going to happen and then comes back in. What I wanted to talk about was also this Dembele thing, because I just saw a report on Dembele and it looks like, now I don't know what Christian Falk is really playing at in terms of the numbers and the contract length, because it's not really clear in his tweet, but I just saw something about potentially 42 million euros for, I don't know how long, because he doesn't specify if it's a year, if it's 3 years, if it's 4 years, in terms of the duration of the contract. And obviously then some bonuses as well. If they win the Champions League, if they win the league, he wants more money as well. Free transfers aren't free transfers. This is the first thing that we've got to point out, make it very, very clear. I know people see free agents and we even did it on All You Can Eat Chelsea. We said, well, listen, there's free agents going around. Kamara at Marseille would have been one that you could have said economically was going to make sense. He's not going to ask for 200k a week. He's Kamara. But certain players, Dybala, Dembele, they're not really free. You know, you think that someone is going to cost more like Rafinha or something because they're 25 mil if there's a relegation clause. But when you look at the agent fees, you look at the signing on fee, when you look at the bonuses, when you look at the wages that these players that are asking for to move on these free transfers, they're asking for a lot of damn money. They're asking for a lot of money. That's why they're looking to move on a free, because they know players these days that are moving on a free, they're thinking to themselves, why am I letting the transfer fee go to the club? I'm worth that. So I'm just going to run my contract down, and then that transfer fee, some of that can just come to me in wages or in signing ons, etc. So a free transfer isn't free. A free transfer is a lost meaning these days. I'm not going to lie, because it just doesn't exist. Now, my main point with this whole Dembele thing is that I think we need to start looking at our season, and I'm going to make a video on this in more detail when I get the statistics, because I still need to do the research and go through just how many days our players have missed in terms of, you know, the last season, this season. Obviously, there's factors like we played the most games, we played 60 odd games, etc. But at the end of the day, guys, our team is riddled with injury-prone players this season. Pulisic is injury-prone. Hudson-Odoi keeps having these niggles. We haven't seen him in a while. You take a look at Ziyech, he gets a bit of good form. He then disappears in terms of injuries as well. You know, Kovacic picks up his niggles. Kante's picking up his niggles. And I'm just looking at a situation, I'm thinking to myself, why are we having these injuries so often, constantly, all the time? We're not going to be able to build up any consistency until we get over these injuries. So until we balance out the team in terms of injury-prone players, we need to potentially not recruit more injury-prone players, because otherwise we're never going to find any sort of consistency in the team. But, I mean, if Guni's with us, he can give us his thoughts. I might host.
Now, I'm here, people. I'm here. Am I glitching out? Am I good?
No, you're good. You're good at the moment.
I'm not doing the whole robot thing. All right,
no,
yeah,
you're good.
All right, listen. Second time, like third time lucky, however much it was. Now I hear you was probably asked about the transfers, isn't it?
Dembele and just how many injury-prone players we already have on the books. I mean, we don't have a single winger that is not injury-prone right now in terms of just picking up niggles. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, we haven't seen him for God knows how long. Even Reece James is starting to pick up niggles now as well. The team is littered with injury-prone players. It's nuts. It's nuts.
It is, and as much I love Ousmane Dembele when he's fit, but when he's not fit, it's just too much PTSD for me, man. That's the thing, and we can't afford where we're at. We can't afford flop signings after flop signings after flop signings, and we got to remember this brother is gonna be north of 300k a week minimum, north of that.
Yeah, I think he probably, I'm not sure exactly what he wants, because Christian Falk's putting out very confusing information right now in terms of just how much he wants a year, the duration of the contract. A lot of people feel like he's destined to go PSG, although it sounds like he wants to wait to see what Chelsea are going to put forward. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I just know that regardless of how talented he is, because I know a lot of people are clamoring to him because of the talent, and 100% the talent speaks for itself. He's obviously had a lot of assists this season in La Liga. My issue is that he's obviously going to break the wage, and the wage structure is already messed up, but he's obviously going to break the wage bill in terms of what he's going to want to earn.
Mm-hmm.
But also, can we rely upon this player to be fit consistently? And I know he hasn't had injuries for a while, and I know Pulisic hasn't had injuries since the start of the season as well, where he missed about the first 3 months of the season, or 2.5 months. But for me personally, these players have to go a couple years before I'm confident that they're not going to be injury prone. I think, yeah, you could say it's been signs of improvement for them, but I'm not going to hang my hat on them. Absolutely not. When we got 60 games a season, or 50 games a season. So I don't know. What do you feel about it, bro? Because I just feel like if we're going to sign injury prone players, we need to get some injury prone players out. We can't just keep adding to the bullshit in terms of injuries, in my opinion.
My first thing would be this, bruv. I don't really care about the attacking positions. I am just like fully focused on making sure our experience in defense is replaced, our DM is brought in. You see anything else after that, to me, is the sprinkle on the cake. See what I'm saying? Let's focus on the base of the cake first. So the talk of Ousmane Dembele, yeah, it's cool. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like the players that we should be going for, that you mentioned, no, we shouldn't be getting no injury-prone players, especially after what we've had with Pulisic, and we've got 1 or 2 other players that are not firing. And your best quality is being available in professional football. Everything else after that, again, will fall into place after you're available to play football. So there's that. That's key, because Tuchel came out and he said I saw a quote where he was saying this is something along the lines of, this is not just adding 1 or 2 players, this is a rebuild. So if we're going to rebuild, to me it means it's potentially a clean slate, new owners and that. Let's invest properly, man. Let's do things that make sense.
I'm so glad he said that, by the way. I haven't watched the press conference yet. I'm gonna watch it later. But I'm so glad he said rebuild and not we need to sign 2 or 3 players and go again, because we are not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You know, we are not going anywhere. Like, if I'm being completely brutally honest, next season, the best we can hope for is again what we tried to get this season, which is a comfortable 3rd place. And that's if the transfer window goes exactly the way it needs to go.
Yep.
Because right now, the only thing that's not funny about Arsenal losing that game is that Tottenham are going to make Champions League with Kante and have extra funds for Kante, who's a 10 times the better manager as Arteta.
Yep.
And if he gets 4 or 5 starters, which he needs in the fullback position, centre midfield, centre back, and I think another attacker, if he gets those players in and Daniel Levy actually backs him, then Tottenham are a serious threat to us next season. I'm not saying we're going to fall out of the top 4, but they're going to be a lot closer to us than we think in terms of, I mean, they're already close to us right now. We're not even that far away from them right now in terms of points. So forget about closing the gap. We're going to be in conversations with Tottenham next year in terms of position. And we just have to hope that the other 2 or other 3 teams are nowhere near the top 4. And it's not a conversation for top 4, but I'm not saying I'm going to drop out, but Tottenham is our nearest and dearest right now. If we mess about in this window and we haggle and we don't get rid of who we need to get rid of and we don't make the moves we need to make and we go in with a half-baked team, then we're under serious threat. You know,
we could be serious trouble.
I don't like looking behind us. I like always to look in front and obviously to progress and to win and to go forward. But we have to have one eye over our shoulder, as we have had for the last 3, 4, 5 years anyway. I mean, we've been in top 4 battles since Conte's title win. So we could never even think to ourselves that we're above it because we've literally been a part of it every time. And the only reason why we're established as the 3rd best team is because we're getting to finals and we're in the Champions League and we won the Champions League. But we are still not separating ourselves from the Tottenhams, the Arsenals and the Man Uniteds. We are yet to significantly put a serious gap up, away from those teams. So we need to be very, very careful, man. This is a very, very important summer because Man United are going to do an overload. They don't need Champions League to bring in players. Ten Hag's there. They're going to have a clear out. Tottenham, if they back Conte, are going to be stronger for a full season. No new, no bullshit at the beginning.
They're looking
and then there's us.
Sterling, Tottenham.
Yep. Yeah. And listen, last time they were linked with Sterling started playing and showing up because he was probably scared of the move. Now with Conte in Champions League football, I don't really see why Sterling would reject that. Like, we could talk about Sterling as, one of the top wingers in the league on his day. But at the end of the day, they've signed Grealish for 100 million. They've got Alvarez coming in. They got Haaland. They've got a lot of players. Foden. There's not really much space for Sterling to continue to start consistently. And with the World Cup coming up, the best thing for Sterling is to play football. He's a very good player on his day. And when he's confident and in form, he's a good winger. He's a very good winger. I don't see why he would say no to Tottenham and Conte. And this is what I'm saying, if they can start attracting the Sterlings, if they could start looking at the Dybalas, who they tried to get last time but didn't quite go through, if they add that level of player, they are right up our ass.
They are.
Right up our ass because they've already got Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Bentancur, Romeo at the back. They just need to get the fullbacks, get another midfielder because I think Højbjerg's fallen off a little bit. And if they patch up a few areas and slide in some depth, I'm telling you,
that's a dangerous team.
Yeah, we need just as many players as Man United do and as Tottenham do and as Arsenal do. It's not like we're nearly there. We need a whole heap of players.
So with the exodus that we've got as well, that's just added more to the problem this summer. And you know what? Just off the back of that, Matisse. But we was actually meant to do a preview, but that's gone out the window. Yeah, since the whole technical issues, it is what it is. See you later. But you know what gives me concern this transfer window though? Is the rumblings that Bruce Buck and Marina Granovskaya are still going to be on the wheel for these transfers, which worries me. It concerns me a lot, bro.
I think we have to get it out of our heads that this summer is going to be the new dawn, the new day of Todd Boehly. Yeah, it's not going to be a data-driven recruitment, gems. We have to wait till next summer for that because when they come in, they have to get their software. They have to get everything in place. They have to understand football as well, because obviously all of their data-driven analytics and experiences from baseball, they have to translate that to football. They need to get a sporting director in the building as well. Something that I've been asking for a long time. I don't really know who they should get I obviously like Campos, but that you know, that might not be exactly the direction they want to go in, because Campos obviously goes for a lot of young players and sells them at a profit at Monaco and Lille. Potentially, they may want to go with someone similar to Edwards. It won't be Edwards, but similar to Edwards, who has maybe experience with bringing in, you know, those older players and just a little bit more range of age profile. But and obviously using the analytics that they want to use, but they need to get a sporting director, and they need to get all of that in place. And that's not really going to be in place until probably January of next year, summer of next year. This window is more transition, Marina Buck. It's going after existing targets. It's understanding and not getting sentimental about the exits. The only thing that I say is better about this summer that we didn't have with Roman is that I'm hoping that they don't. They say to Marina, first come, first serve. You see with them exits, first come, first serve. Someone wants it, reasonable price, sell him. Don't haggle, don't beg, borrow, steal. Don't ask for $5 more for Barkley. Don't renew Bakayoko's contract for an extra year so you can get a bin them. Bin a lot of them. Binned a lot of them. With the deadwood, clear it out. I want to see Aspi, Alonso, Christensen confirmed to Barcelona in a matter of days after this situation.
Malangsar transfer listed.
Yeah, get it done. And I'm hoping that with new owners, they're not, because they didn't buy these players with their own money, they're not going to evaluate them so high and overprice them out of the market, because these players are all on stupid wages. So that's why we're lucky to even get certain amounts of money for them, let alone overprice them, because the clubs have to go and potentially match these wages. So we need to clear these players out. I need these players gone. I need Barkley out this fucking club immediately. I don't want to hear no loan. I don't want to hear no 10 mil, but they want to pay 7. Get him out the club immediately. Yeah, get him out. I am actually more concerned with getting the outgoings perfect than the incomings, because we need the players gone. Yeah, I don't give a shit if Maatsen goes to Dortmund, great. But I don't give a shit if we even have to use Sterling at right wing back next season. I just need to know that the wage bills dropped, the high priced, overvalued players are gone, and that at least I can see the squad has been cleansed, so there is space to recruit going forward. Because the issue with Chelsea over the last few years is that not that we don't have the money or we don't want to get this player or that player, we just don't have the space. We don't have the space to bring in players because we've always got too many players. We've got 3 or 4 left backs. We've got too many attackers. So when they were looking at Dembele in mid-season, they couldn't get him anyway because they had Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Werner, Lukaku, Kai. How can any sane Chelsea fan think we're going to add an attacker with that many attackers on the roster? It's not going to happen. You're not going to get a Cucurella or Sosa or whoever the hell you want at left back when you've got Alonso, Emerson, Kennedy, Baba Rahman. What the fuck is that, man?
It's crazy.
It's nuts, bro. Get rid of them. I want them all gone for free. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I just hope it's not too late. I hope, by some miracle, Marina doesn't have full control of these transfers, and especially when it comes down to flipping penny pinching and bargaining. Yeah, because I already saw something else saying, Sevilla want closer to the 80. They want the 80 mil in euros, which is the release clause, and Chelsea are holding at 70. Now, granted, I get it. Sometimes you got to put your foot down. You got to be, but we're in a position where we've done it so many times that's come back to bite us in our ass, and I'm fucking sick of it. I'm tired of it. Bro.
Asking for 60 for Batshuayi when we were offered 40. Rejecting 50 million for Willian only to let him go for free. These are the decisions. These are the decisions that now that Roman is gone, now we have to question Marina a bit more, because Marina before was no point talking about her because she's with Roman. They've worked with each other for 25 to 28 years. She's not going anywhere. She's under some scrutiny. I'm not saying she's not done anything right. I've defended her for years in terms of talking about what she's done very well, the sponsorship deals, etc. You have to give her plaudits for what she does negotiation wise. However, the wage bill is partly her fault with her negotiations for players. I don't understand why certain players are making, unless somebody can explain it to me, I'm going to question it. That's how I work. If someone can explain to me why Werner is possibly on 270k a week, then cool. But as far as I was aware, it was us and Liverpool chasing him. Liverpool ducked out because they couldn't afford him. And then we paid 270k a week to a player that was probably on 120k at Leipzig. And you can all tell me that, yes, he was popping, but he weren't fucking Benzema or Lewandowski. He still had things to prove. Like, let's not blow smoke up Timo's arse like as if he was some sort of Champions League leading goal scorer like Erling Haaland. That wasn't the case. He was a very, very, very promising striker who did a great year, but he weren't fucking Lewandowski, Benzema, Suarez in his prime. Let's cut the bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's cut the BS. So 270k a week for him don't make no damn sense. Do you know what I'm saying? And I need to understand why that's happened. It don't make no sense. So there's a lot that needs to there's a lot that needs to go on, man. It's a bit mad.
Yeah, that's hard. That's my main thing for me. Just that she cannot be in charge of transfers, and I really worry. While she's there, I worry. But going forward, I hope this is her last season, her last, transfer dealings that she's going to have to deal with at Chelsea Football Club, and we do get someone who is more, competent, I will say, and that doesn't want a penny pinch and just, leave the room and feel like they've won all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's good to feel that way, but sometimes you've got to concede and just be like, we got to weigh up. Do we really need this player? Yes, we do. Are we going to pay 10 mil over the top in euros, by the way? Then we're just going to have to fucking do it. But with her, I don't know if it's an ego thing or whether it's a strict budget. I don't want to be too unfair on her because it might just be down to a budget. Who knows? But it is what it is on that one. Arsenal Football Club. I said, nah, okay, we're here. Man like Czar. I seem to remember Czar. Arms flailing in the air. Yeah? This brother trying to tell us, hey, Troopz, we could be going for third place. You think third place is a possibility? How are you feeling right now? Czar, the question has to backfire to you and return to sender. How are you feeling right now? How are you?
Somebody's infiltrated him. As soon as he was starting to go for him, somebody's hacked. Somebody's hacked into your computer. I'm telling you. Someone's not allowing you to do this.
Czar, I know you're watching this stream, yeah? And every time I've mentioned your name, this thing has glitched out. So, what is going on with Arsenal Football Club? These times I'm hearing Bukayo Saka is young player of the year. This guy is better than what at one stage it was. Now, you know what? I want to be sure before I put that one out. I love you, Czar, so I'm not going to mash you up on that one. But I remember something completely wild, fam. Yeah? I remember the other week, no Champions League football. What's even going on here? Like, you're playing Everton, struggling. Relegation form Everton? This is what's really going on? This is what we're really doing? Guni, I mean, you guys were champions of Europe. Like, what are you doing? What's going on here? Well, Booker T.5, we will be going again. Yeah. When was the last time we went in the Champions League, Matisse?
I'd say 18-19 under Sarri, I think.
18-19 under Sarri. So that
we won the Europa League.
So both my kids were born during that time. Both my children, who are 6 and 4, have seen the Champions League. Bruv, Czar, hear what I'm saying to you, yeah? You see the hi ho, it's down the table we go. You see all of that, yeah? You need to get that tune, remix that, and somehow put the Europa music in that, yeah? Make it some like mashup. Whoa, what's the song called?
The song slaps.
Bruv, yeah, trust me. As for that intro, yeah. Trust me. Hey, I know Troopz is very plugged in. Big up M Honcho and them man there. I know Troopz listens to them. But speak to one or two of the producers. I don't know. Ghosty, Maniac. Hey, big up Maniac all day long. That's my guy still. Chat to Maniac, actually. I can get you discounts so you can get the biggest and most banging Europa League drill remix that you've ever seen. Yeah? And Czar, if you are nice, and Troopz, I may ask M Honcho nicely to do the theme music for you, but the hook has to be Europa orientated as well as the back again. How about that? How does that sound? These men are in the mud,
bro. I said Arsenal fans have got to concentrate. I said it for weeks. People are like, Matisse, are you worried about top 4? No. Matisse, are you worried about top 4? No. And I just kept saying no. And I didn't even really entertain it. And people are saying, oh, you're arrogant. You think that you're too big to fall out. It's not that. I didn't even say we were even going to make it on our own accord. I just knew that somebody was going to fumble the bag. I knew somebody would fumble the bag.
And tradition states.
And I warned. Obviously, Spurs are Spurs, but they have Kante now, so it's a little bit different. But we'll see how much he takes them away from that Spursy identity. But when it came to Arsenal, I kept saying to every Arsenal fan, concentrate, focus, because let me tell you something. You don't get a trophy for third. I don't play these games. That you've been playing with Man United fans for the last 3, 4, 5 years. I don't play these games about who's the shitter team, who's better, shit or piss. I don't play that game. I'm not interested in who's fifth, who finishes sixth. I don't care who, we finished fifth, you finished sixth. No. I don't play those games. If we're shit, we're shit. If we're good, we're good. It's as simple as that. I don't play this third place trophy shit. This is not the championship. This is not the playoffs. You don't get nothing for third. You get absolutely nothing. If you finish third, fourth, you're still going to the Champions League. There's not even a qualifying round like there used to be. All I said was concentrate on the task at hand, because if you get fourth, that is a great achievement. Don't worry about Chelsea. Don't worry about Tuchel. Don't worry about who's got more wins. Don't worry about all of that, sweetheart. Yeah? Focus. Because if you take your eye off the ball and you get too confident, something's going to go wrong, because your team have yet to get the job done, and they are yet to go to an informed Newcastle team, one of the most informed teams this calendar year, and they're yet to go to White Hart Lane with a terrible record. And you have a very young team with a very inexperienced average Premier League manager who has not done this yet, and you've already shown you can crack against Villarreal in the Europa League or Olympiacos, whoever the hell it was. You've already shown that you can't get over that hurdle when it matters most. Your team have not yet sealed the deal. So, here we are.
And Zah, you had the audacity. You had the stones. You had the cojones, my friend, to actually sit there on Big Barstool Sports, with Troopz TV, and utter these mad words. Emil Smith-Rowe is better than Mason Mount. Are you all right, fam? Where was Emil Death Row? Yeah, big up Rants. Where was Emil Death Row against Newcastle, fam? Yeah? You see, for games where there's big pressure, yeah, man like Mace assists in Champions League finals. Has Emil Death Row ever even played in a Champions League game in his life? I don't think so. What about Saka? And these are men that you are sitting and steady comparing to, yeah? Because you got to understand, we play a lot of football. We play Champions League, we play FA Cup, we play Premier League, we play Club World Championships, which is not for everybody. We play for Europa Super Cups, which is not for everybody, yeah? This is what we do. So how can you compare your babies, your players, your Haaland crew to big Cobham boys who have played in big man competitions and won them? Yeah, trophies that these players are dreaming about winning. Not even the players that Arsenal are dreaming about winning, because they've never won the competition, fam.
They're getting excited about the music. We've already lifted the trophy.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the difference. And Arsenal fans tried to run the whole. Some of them. I'm not going to say all of them. Some of them tried to run the whole. We're not far behind you. Come on. Do you really think you're on our level? You really think you're going to Real Madrid and winning 3-2? You really think you're in the Champions League quarterfinals, or you're the holders? You really think you're getting to the finals of both the cups and going toe to toe with Liverpool in a game? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think sometimes people say the table doesn't lie, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. And it lied last year as well when Man United finished second and Liverpool finished third. And I told those Man United fans that was a false image. And they all came for me and said, oh, well, you're just salty that we finished ahead of you and we finished second. And no. And I said, okay, cool. And then you added Varane, you added Ronaldo, you added Sancho, and you found your ass in 6th. And maybe potentially 7th if you don't beat Palace. So it's like, Sometimes the table does lie. And let me tell you something. If you think that we're only a couple points better than you, in reality, I'm sorry, you're very mistaken, because like I said, we've played a lot more football than you. And we've had a lot more injuries. You guys have started panicking as soon as you've seen an injury to Partey and Tierney.
That's
We've
what I'm
had
saying.
injuries left, right, and center all season.
We almost didn't have a club to play left.
Injuries to the midfield, injuries in the wing back areas. The defenders don't even give a shit anymore because they're running out of contract. We have had issues galore, and you guys have had, apart from the Bamiyang situation, a very, very easy ride this season. No Europe, out the FA Cup early, 1 game a week, concentrate. That's all I kept saying, was just concentrate. Concentrate and focus, because if you get the job done, you're going to get your flowers. You got your top 4. Now you can kick on. Now we can talk. I still don't think Arteta's going to bring you much further, but now I don't even think Arteta will really ever get them into the top 4, because I feel like this was the best chance. I think next season, when they play Europe and they play more games, they're going to fall back to where they kind of were, which is around that 6th spot, maybe 5th, but probably 6th in my opinion. And that will be normal. And it's funny because people say that they've overachieved. And this is the thing I was debating on the Big 6. If you want to achieve, you have to overachieve. We overachieved when we won the title with Kante. We overachieved when we won the Champions League last season. We Leicester overachieved when they won the league. Liverpool overachieved when they reached the Champions League final the first time on the clock. People overachieve all the time. West Ham have overachieved this season.
But you see,
if you don't overachieve, when the opportunity arises, you will never achieve. And this is the thing. Because I'm not expecting who in this chat expects Arsenal to make top 4 next year. Because that's the process. That's the progression. That's the next step. Who in their right mind, when I tell you Man City, Pep, Klopp, Liverpool, Tuchel, Chelsea, Conte, Tottenham, with Champions League football and players coming in, Ten Hag at Man United, who expects Arsenal to finish in the top 4 next year? Nobody.
I'm gonna take it one further. I don't see him finishing in the Champions League for the next 5 or so years. I thought this was the most crucial year, more than most of them, because of the fact that Newcastle is coming up. Yeah, they've got money and they've got a manager that plays attractive football. Right? They're not in a position where they want to be. But can they get there? Do they have the ambition to? Can they offer the wages? Do they have wages free up in their books to do that with their new sponsors coming in? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah. Now, that's already, look, you've already named Liverpool. You've named Man City. These are 2 defaults. We're not going to get it every year. Chelsea, we should be a default. But again, depending on what happens this transfer window, it remains to be seen. Then you've got Man United, who I said this year, as much as the same as I said the season before, it's a false image of Manchester United. I'm even saying till now, because once they fix that during this summer, they have a preseason with this. I know they're going to finish higher than 8th or 7th or whatever it is. They will. They'll be challenging for top 4. That's 5 teams that I've named. Not to mention Newcastle trying to get into the fold. Not to mention West Ham as well, who are recruiting better than Arsenal. But they've just not had the time to do it consistently enough to eclipse them. You see what I'm saying? If Arsenal keep going down the trajectory they're going, and West Ham are going down the trajectory they're going, in a couple years' time, it's going to look peak for them.
The only saving grace they have is that the 5th spot is going to be open for Champions League
That's
in
true.
20.
But that's true.
24-25, or is it 25-26? I think it might be 25-26. I think 24-25 will be the season where you can now qualify for the 5th place Champions League.
It might be too late then.
Because Newcastle by then.
This is what I'm saying. I've named 5 teams and I didn't even mention Spurs in that.
Newcastle by then could be a problem, man. Will be a problem. I mean, their recruitment in January was so spot on. It's nuts. The only thing I think they got wrong was Chris Wood. But they brought in Bruno Guimaraes, and I'm not going to lie, he walks into our midfield.
Absolutely.
He walks into Arsenal's midfield. He walks into Man United's midfield. He walks into Tottenham's midfield. So if they've already done that, that's one player that they've already signed that eclipses a lot of our midfielders, especially when they're declining. Now that people are starting to understand that, because when I said that Jorginho and Kante are probably, it's funny, because when I said Jorginho and Kante probably shouldn't be given extensions and probably should go by 2023, like they should go before the 23-24 season, people were in uproar. Now they want them gone now. Now people want these players gone this summer for the right price. How did we get here? It was an absolute crime to say that they should go next summer. And I know Jorginho had a great performance recently, but I'm just saying, like, clearly, I'm not going to just hang my hat on a good performance every now and then from these guys, because that's why we are where we are, right? We need consistency. Now, it's funny because, again, unpopular. I said it on Space, unpopular. I wouldn't dare tweet it because I just don't have the time for the interactions, but because it would have been mad, the amount of abuse. But again, keeping Jorginho is probably more important than keeping Kante right now.
It's true.
Because Jorginho is the only 6.
It's true, exactly.
If you're going to use, if you're going to keep Gallagher, who's had a very underwhelming end to the second half of the season, so calm down on him. If you're going to keep Loftus-Cheek, because Tuchel seems to love him, you got Mount, you got Kova. That's a lot of 8s. I don't really see the need for Kante. If the right price comes in on those wages, I don't really see the need. Whereas at least Jorginho, you can say, we've only got one sitter, and when Jorginho plays at his best, you can see value. I'm not saying when Kante doesn't play at his best, you can't see value. But my point is that everybody's scared of losing Kante, but there's nothing to be scared of because he's not consistent anymore. And when he gives you that 10 out of 10, it's very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Far between.
And I'd rather take 7s and 8s consistently than 10 and then and he's injury prone. You can't even use him consistently. And really now, if you get a midfielder that you trust, that is playing really well, they're going to be a starter. You're going to try and tell me that if Tchouameni's signed and he's having a blitzer of a season and he's doing great, you're telling me for the big games we're going to drop Tchouameni out and bring in Kante for the big games? It doesn't make any sense. When people are saying this, like, oh, we'll just use him sparingly for the big games. Why would you, if you've recruited properly, you don't take your best players out of the midfield and bring in the player that doesn't play often because he's the big game player? That doesn't make any sense. That sounds like some Ronaldo thing at Man United. Like, that sounds backwards. So I'm just saying, I'm not here on this emotional shit. I'm just trying to clear the wage bill and I'm trying to get value for money. And if you're earning 300, 290K, 270K, and you're not performing to that level, I'm personally looking at offers and I'm looking to see you keep it moving, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to see value for money. I'm trying to see the wage bill cleared so we can actually operate properly, because not going to lie, very few of these players are worth keeping. We're not gonna drastically go up or down with these players going. Some of them.
Do you know it's harder? Watch this. You know how fucked up we are. Do you know it's actually harder to name the players that deserve to stay than to say the ones that can go. We have more players that need to leave this club than stay, especially in that first 11. In my opinion, my God's honest opinion. Off the top of my head, well, Rudiger's not a Chelsea player anymore. In the top of my head, who would I actually keep in the first 11 that would play week in, week out? I'd keep Kai Havertz. And even him, I'm gonna judge him differently next season, depending on. Judgment day is coming for him. People think that I'm being lenient. No, he can stay. Lukaku, I'll give one more chance.
I'm not even gonna lie.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I don't want to have to. Though.
I know. If it was up to me,
you know what the funny thing is with Lukaku? Everybody started to get gassed and do revisionism after the Leeds game, and I even had to calm it down on All You Can Eat Chelsea. People were like, "Oh, he's back," or we should have been playing him all along, and Tuchel should have used him more, and see if we just use him in this way. And Leeds was the perfect game for Lukaku.
100%.
They left gaps and they played a stupid line and they don't defend properly and they also are shit and they've conceded the second most goals in the league. Now, when you come up against proper defenders in Konate and Van Dijk and Matip, you're shit. And now you tell me how the 100 million, 300,000 £1 week striker is not good in the big games against the best defenders. Somebody make that make sense to me. How does it make sense?
It's been that way for over a decade as well.
It's been that way the whole time he's been here, and it's actually historical in a way as well, because people spoke about this top 6 record, but I turned a blind eye to it because I said, you know what? He looks like he's improved in Serie A, and it looks like as if he's a player that he's now reaching his prime. But his record against big teams is very poor. So when it comes to playing at the elite level, the latter stages of the Champions League, the biggest games in the Premier League, why are you someone that we should be taking out the team for Kai Havertz? That doesn't make any sense. If that is the case, then again, I go back to value for money. You are not worth your weight in gold. You're not worth what we're paying you. Because why are we paying 100 million for a striker that against the big teams we have to take him out?
Have to take him out. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, those are
He was out. He was out muscled, technically, everything across all boards. Van Dijk ate him up for dinner.
It was easy for him.
He could not handle him. He could not handle it.
It was too easy.
It happens every single time.
I need to answer this question from AJ. Big up yourself, AJ. You're always up in the channel and you support us a lot. So I know you're not trolling when you ask this question. Tell me what manager would sell Kante at this moment? Well, a smart one would if they were going to replace him adequately, because look, you just have to look at the record of injury that we have, that he has. Then you've got to put it into the bigger picture of the team and how many injuries we have in this squad, which affects team cohesion, believe it or not, because teams tend to do better when they play well together consistently. That's part of growth. So there's also that as well. And the fact that he's down to his last year of his contract, it would make sense if we got a 30 M's plus bid for him to get rid of him. To me, that is good business rather than letting him walk out on a free, which we are starting to see with a couple players. See what I mean? I would much rather that. If Kante's got to go, but I'm guaranteed the Tchouaméni to walk in, then that's fine by me.
That's my point. But what people want is they want to keep Kante. They want to keep Jorginho, and then they want to replace Barkley with Tchouaméni and replace, it's not going to work like that. It's not. It's just not going to work like that. Like, if you want these players, you got to give up something to get something. Yeah. And I'm looking at the long term, because people will say, why are you entertaining selling Kante? Well, I'm looking at what Kante brings to the team, right? At his best, he's fantastic at recovering the ball, fantastic at tackling, fantastic at then potentially carrying the ball. All of these things, all of these traits can be replaced by either a DM or Kovacic or Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Gallagher. Like, all of these guys carry the ball. All of these guys are really good with the counter press. All of these guys, well, some of these guys, if you get the DM as well, can tackle, can intercept. What is Kante bringing extra on top of what we already have? That's my question. Is he bringing you the lone DM that we don't have? No. Is he bringing you the creativity with the final pass when he gets into the final third? No. Can he score goals as a number 8 like Kevin De Bruyne? No. So when Chelsea fans complain that we can't create chances, but yet they want to play a 3-man midfield with Kante to the right. Now make that make sense, Guni. You've got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, the likes of Foden, the likes of Thiago playing in these number 8 roles, creating opportunities. And in the same breath, Chelsea fans will tell you that we need to keep Kante to play the number 8 role, the box-to-box role, to create what? To create what chance?
What chances?
To create what chance?
How many more final balls are we going to see over here?
How many more transitions? How many more times are going to give the ball away unnecessarily? How many more times? I'm sorry.
Exactly what I'm talking
I'm sorry,
about,
but when you build up an accumulation of injuries and he's coming to an age where, okay, he's not old, but age is just a number, right? Thiago Silva and Kante is not the same thing.
100%.
Because Thiago Silva, his game is not reliant on pace. It's not reliant on covering ground. It's not reliant on all these things. Thiago Silva is all about position, and it's all about... But Kante's game is about covering the globe. So when you can't cover the globe anymore and you're not as quick, please tell me what we so desperate to keep. It's emotional, Guni. It's all about emotional attachment. What he's won. He was one of the best midfielders at one point. He was world class. He was incredible. But if you're not that currently, there's a conversation to be had. There is, and it's the same. And it's the same fans that were telling me a couple of years ago, you can't get rid of Alonso. He is incredible. And now someone's saying, why can't you have a CDM and Kante? Kante's not a DM.
He's not.
I don't know how many times we have to say this.
He never has been.
Kante is not a DM. And you're saying you always want depth and say this. Please answer me. Why do you need 290k a week Kante as depth? Make it make sense. You man are not thinking. And then you're going to complain that we have no space on the wage structure for Dembele or whoever the hell you want. Why would you have Kante as depth, but then you want to keep Gallagher, but then you want to keep Loftus-Cheek, or then you want to keep Mount and Cover as the 8s? There's no space. Why is the depth player making more than the starter? This club is backwards, Guni. This club is backwards. Kante is not a DM. If you didn't just watch Kante play DM a few weeks ago against Arsenal, I think it was, then I don't know.
Up completely.
I don't know anymore. I don't know how many times you got to hear that Kante's not a DM. I don't know how many more times.
Fuck out of me, because
how many more times do people have to hear that Kante's not a DM before they open their eyes and see it? He is attracted to the ball. Why would you take someone who is box to box or carries the ball, dribbles forward, wants to cover the space? Why would you take that and cage it in midfield and put it as a DM? It doesn't make sense. You're just asking
for trouble. You're asking for trouble.
And he's not even physically, if I'm honest, he's not physically built like a DM needs to be either. You're looking at the Casemiros, the Rodris, these players. Even Makelele was a lot stronger. How many times do we see Kante bodied off the ball at times? He's getting older. He's injury prone. I don't know how many more times I got to say it. Like, I feel like people feel like the club ends when Kante leaves. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, we've literally lost so many big names, and people feel like when Kante goes, we're just going to liquidate or something. I don't know if they haven't seen Chelsea without Kante or what it is. But I'm seeing, yes, don't get me wrong, I'm seeing things that Kante brings to the team, but I'm seeing many things that he doesn't bring to the team that we need. People talk about creativity, passing. Like, where do you think it's going to come from? Who do you want it to come from? Because Mount's not going, Kova's not going. So where do you want to make this space? Where do you want to make this room?
Joey, I think after everything being said, I don't think that's the case. Or is it the case for you?
That's not even an option, so there's no point even.
Yes, that's what I mean. Talking about. But I mean, look, it's a situation with the midfield. If Kante goes, we don't need to replace him with Casemiro, because if you're worrying with that, because I don't say, look, Casemiro is a quality player, but for me, it's the age factor. But this is not our defense where we've lost so much seniority there. You see what I'm saying? Over there, we still got Kovacic who can lead and guide there. You see what I mean? Another name in case Jorginho doesn't go, because it's not going to be both of them going. Ideally, I'd like it for them both to go. Like, my thing is this: I've said it several times, and I know I think you didn't agree with me as well. I think you was kind of against it. Quite a few people in the chat were against it as well. But this is something that I die on my shield on. Tchouaméni this season, Declan Rice the next. Them two out. Get rid of Deadwood, and we build on that. We build. To some, it's like, that's very defensive. It's this, that, and the other.
I don't even need both of them. Yeah, I did disagree. I don't even need both of them. I need one, preferably for me, Tchouaméni. And listen, if you if you go with Tchouaméni, now, in my opinion, to lose both of them in the same window is very risky, because you're losing a lot of experience. We've already lost a lot of experience in terms of, this is why I never said I'm in favor of losing Jorginho and Kante at the same time. I'm just saying
I knew that was the case. I knew that definitely.
I'm just saying at the end of next season, I don't really see why they're here. If I'm honest, if we've done what we should be doing, I don't really see why they're here. But we do need. Oh God, yeah, he played as okay. At least you got that right. So yeah, I don't really see why they're here past next season. Now, in my opinion, you've got to get one minimum, and then you keep. In my opinion, you need to keep Jorginho if you're gonna have 2 6s. If you're gonna let go of Jorginho, then you've got to get an Ampadu push through, or a Gilmour. But Gilmour's not a DM. He's just a good player on the ball in that position.
Him as well. I think they messed up that kid's development so badly by sending him to Norwich. That was the stupidest decision ever. Dumb. Yeah. But go on, Matisse.
But yeah, I'm not really bothered. Like, to be honest, if Ampadu's had a very good season, if you told me next season. The only issue with this that I don't like is that Tchouaméni comes in and that he's a guaranteed starter and he's under a lot of pressure. That shouldn't be the case. He should come in and be eased in and be, rotated in, and slowly, as the season goes on, he gets a bigger and bigger role, like Reece James did to an Azpilicueta, etc. But we're now getting to a point where people are falling off so far in terms of their performance and their consistency that if we don't start juggling things around, we're going to find ourselves in a mess. And like I said, I don't think we're winning the league next year anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But when people talk about, we want to sell the worst players first, we say this every single season. It never happens.
It never happens.
We all know that it's easier to sell Werner than it is to sell Barkley. We all know it is easier to get money for Kante, who is actually wanted because he's still a good player, than it is to get money for Emerson. So we can keep saying this every single season, but this is why we never make any progress. Because every single season we say, we're going to get rid of all the deadwood, and we're going to keep all the great players, and we're going to replace all the deadwood with great players. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like a fucking miracle, but it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It didn't happen last year. It didn't happen the year before, and it's not going to happen this season either. There are going to be some shit players that we don't like still here in August. I can guarantee you that right now. It's going to happen because Barkley is not going to drop his 100k a week wage for nobody. You know why? Because he likes his wage and he's very comfortable. Alonso, he wants to stay here. He said he wants to be a legend. Then he wants to go to Barcelona. I don't really know what he wants. He's confused as hell. But at the end, even Loftus-Cheek, not someone that's a key member, he wants to stay. He wants to go again next year. There are going to be players that you want to move that you can't physically move. And so the only way to actually make some progress is to move some of the players that you rate a lot more, you're emotionally attached to, but you can see they're declining. So start moving some of them on so we can get some of the promising players in, so then we can actually build. So then when we get to the point where we're actually able to challenge, we're not fucked. Because all that's going to end up happening if we don't get some of these targets is we either have to pray and hope that new ones come up and that our scouting system actually pull their finger out their arse and find these gems in the next couple of years. We don't know. Hopefully they do. But I tell you something. What's going to look wonderful in this fan base if we have a pivot next season of Jorginho and Kante, again, picking up niggling injuries, getting older, and Liverpool have Tchouameni, and Man City have De Jong and Rodri. And guess who's more fucked long term? Guess who's winning right now? And then guess who's still predicted to win in 5 years' time? Them. And we are just hovering around with our emotional attachments.
No, 100%.
That's all we're doing. We're not going anywhere. Because I'm telling you right now, as much as we love Kante and Jorginho, we're not winning a Premier League with them next season anyway.
No,
so somebody tell me what we have to lose. What do we have to lose? We're not winning the league.
I agree.
So unless you're going to keep riding out for this Champions League, which we've won twice in 9 years, what are you actually waiting for? I'm not banking on Champions League Kante for the long stability of this football club. I'm not banking on someone to turn up for 8 knockout games. What the hell are we doing?
That's what I mean. We didn't even bank on him to turn up against Real Madrid. And look how that turned out.
What are we doing? What are we actually doing? We're saying we're going to keep players based on big games
Sentiment
and Champions League semi-finals.
Got to move on.
When Real Madrid are going to get Mbappe? Man City just got Haaland. Camavinga. We just got passed off the pitch with that brother. Look how young he is. Look how good he is. 30 million he cost.
Yeah, that's all he cost. And I was here banging on I'm happy I started the channel by then.
We're going to get left behind, bro.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to get big man thing. If we don't stop putting this emotional bullshit, we're going to get left behind, because I'm seeing bare young midfielders, out there that are going to be bossing the streets for 10 years plus. Bellingham, we know we ain't getting him. And we probably go Liverpool. Tchouameni looks like he could go Liverpool if we don't get this ownership sorted. Camavinga, please tell me, how are we going to catch up to all these guys when all these midfielders are just getting plucked? What are we doing here? Because we're living in la land and we're living in emotional attachment. And I love this player so much. You know what the problem is with this fan base? And I hate to sound like Lee Gunner right now, because he obviously always goes at fan bases, and our fan base is nothing like Arsenal's. But you know what the biggest issue right now of our online fan base is? And it's something that I was guilty of. So I'm not even trying to come from a holy or thou position, because I was a criminal for this one. But it's only recently I've started to realize that I need to stop this. All this player FC, Avi FC, repping, defending to the high heels, couldn't give a shit. The only thing I care about is Chelsea Football Club. I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care what individual it is. If it's not for the betterment of Chelsea, I don't care. People ask me all the time, who are my favorite players? My favorite players are the best players. The players that are the top players in our team, the most consistent, and that actually deliver the goods. The Reece Jameses, the Thiago Silvas.
Yep.
These are my favorite players. Not any sort of undenying loyalty, fangirling, Ariana Grande standing. Please, can I get your autograph, please? I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I don't give two shiny shits. I really don't. I only care about what we're trying to do. And what we're doing right now, it's all over the shop. We needed DM last year. We need a DM this year. And if we don't get it sorted, we're going to need the DM next year. We're just going around in circles here. It's mad.
Hopefully, yeah. I hope that gets sorted out and over the line. Let me just go through the super chats before I forget. The first one, Phantom of Many Topics. My third or fourth place is still Champions League. Let's play under 23s. The under 23s that almost got relegated. No thanks. I don't think so. That will not do no favors for their confidence. But thank you for the super chat there, Phantom of Many Topics. Integrate would have been a better thing to say, maybe one or two, but even still, I don't think we're in the space to even be doing any of that.
It would have been brilliant, bro. And that's my thing, is that I'm not saying that we should lose both of them at the same time, but somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to move. I don't really even care who it is. I'm just saying for the balance of the team, it makes more sense that it's Kante because we have more box-to-box midfielders. If Jorginho goes, then it is what it is. And then maybe Ampadu fills in as the backup DM. Just somebody has to move because the dynamics of the midfield need to change. And it's not even just that. We actually also just need to look to the future because the here and now, this team is not winning the league and they're just about, dealing with the cups and they're trying to win those. But swapping these players in and out is not the difference between us getting to an FA Cup final or not. It's the difference between us being 20 or 25 or 30 points off the top, though.
That's what the aim is, to win the league. That's it.
And I'm not saying that when Tchouaméni comes in, we're going to challenge, because we're not.
No, but it's going to.
I tell you what, in a couple years' time, we could. I tell you who we ain't challenging with in a couple years' time is Kante and Jorginho.
100%.
And Alonso. And all of these other older players that, listen, on their day, they are great players. And I have so much respect for Jorginho and Kante. Alonso, everybody knows I don't really like him too much. But Jorginho and Kante, I fucking love these guys. I love Kante. Don't get me wrong. What he did in our title wins, he's fucking incredible. I love Jorginho. I love these guys. I used to do so much propaganda for them all over the TL. But then I realized it's not about that anymore.
It's not.
It's not about that.
No, it's not. KCD.
Because we're going to become like Man United's fan base, where Martial FC, Rashford FC.
We can be pacified by signings. Yeah, we can be pacified.
I couldn't care less, bro. We're going to become like Man United's fan. Oh, Bruno FC. Oh, Bruno FC. Oh, Martial FC. Or Rashford FC. I couldn't give a shit. I just want us to sort ourselves out. That's it. That's all
Chelsea
I want.
FC.
At the expense of anybody. Anybody who's not really delivering consistently, which nobody can tell me that these two players have, because Cover's been our best midfielder, and he has been for a while. It's funny because when we was all doing our Ballon d'Or talk and we was all talking about, Kante and Jorginho, they had fantastic Champions League campaigns. Nobody can take that away from them. They were the best pivot in the Champions League by a country mile, hence why we won and we dominated our games. But in the league, they're still not putting in those performances. That's why we're fourth. It's also because of obviously missed chances, but our midfield is still not great in the league for the last 3-4 years. It's not like we're blitzing the league. It's not like as if we're completely dominating and controlling. So, and people can talk about strikers missing chances, but I think we all know now we don't actually create high quality chances. Like don't get me wrong, we create chances, but we could still be better at the way we create chances as well. And that comes from the wingers, that comes from the midfield. That comes from wing backs being injured, potentially fullbacks being injured. It's a team collective effort to create chances. It's not on any one individual. This is why I don't blame Jorginho if he doesn't create a chance, or blame Mount. It's on everybody. But part of that is the midfield. And like I said, if you want to be a possession-based midfield and you want to play with 3 men in midfield, you need to have people that can create in midfield. And we don't have that. We don't have that. Oh, you're gonna break out. You're breaking.
No, there we go. Are we back?
Yeah, you're back.
All right, cool. KC Day, thank you very much for the super chat. Finally caught you two live from New Jersey. Big up yourself, next door neighbors. I'm part of the Chelsea Discord and Reddit. And too many fans cape for players. Timo has to go, facts. Christensen's out of the door anyway. Alonso's got to go, fact. Barkley, fact. Kante, wouldn't mind seeing him out the door with a good replacement, and bring in another left back, right back, attacking mid, and 2 centre backs. The left back situation, Alonso leaving is just the tip of the iceberg. There's still several other players we've got to get rid of. So with that, I can see us fumbling the ball there. I can. If Marcus Alonso don't go, I think we're stuck with him for another season. Right back situation.
Oh God.
Reece, I'm worried about him over a 38-game plus season. He's had quite a few injuries. And I'm also worried about how Chelsea are dealing with it too, rushing him back from his injuries.
People talk about experience, right? Because they're saying we need experience. I agree. I don't want us to be Arsenal where our team is imbalanced and we have no experience. I'm not saying to fill up the squad of young Cobham talents and have no balance and have no experience. I've already said on here, I question how important Gallagher and Broja will be next year, because they've fallen off at the end of the season. The second half of the season, they've fallen off. And if I'm being honest, and I said it before, but I'm going to make a video on it, Gallagher and Broja don't suit possession-based teams as much as Ampadu and Gilmour. And people ain't really going to fuck with that, because Gilmour especially has not had a good loan. And Ampadu's had a good loan, but he's fallen down a lot in people's estimations. But I can tell you right now, those two players, they will suit our team a lot quicker than the other two I just mentioned. Now, Gallagher's obviously rated by Tuchel, and he's very high energy, and he's very good at counter pressing. He can score goals, so there's value in him. He could be like an English Kante, but with goals in his game. But when we come up against low blocks and we need someone to play that pass, you know, that creativity that everybody keeps calling for.
Yeah.
That incisive pass.
With the correct weight.
Gallagher's not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Gallagher's not going to do that. So we're still missing it. We're still lacking that creativity. If you think Gallagher's going to come into the team and bring creativity, and you haven't been watching him, that's not his game right now. It might develop, but it's not right now. At Palace, he's been thriving off them transitions. He's been brilliant in the counter press. He's been brilliant in the final third, getting those goals, but he's not a creator.
He's not.
So this is where we need to be very careful. Either we need to become a little bit more transition based and not so heavily reliant on having the ball and having possession, and we need to be faster and we need to play the ball quickly. Then you can see the value for the transitional players like the Werners, like the Lukakus, like the Brojas, like the Gallaghers. Or we stick to our possession, but then we need to find very incisive, accurate players who are very skilled. It's one or the other. You can have a bit of both, but I don't know. We don't seem to be quite sure what direction we're going in yet. But we need to be very careful with these players that are coming back and thinking that they're gonna be good squad depth, but they're not going to change the world. You know, they're not going to suddenly come in here and improve us to a whole nother level. It's not going to happen in the first season, in my opinion. I think it's too soon. So I just think I think we've got too much of the same thing in midfield. We don't have enough of the other traits that we lack. We don't have the sitter and we don't have the creator. We've got great ball carriers, great, box to box energy, counter press, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We got all of that. We don't have none of the creativity. We don't have none of the holding midfield ability to anchor a midfield or to really outside Jorginho even start build up. We have nothing.
We don't have anything. No.
Every time Jorginho's not on the pitch, bro, we end up going to the fullbacks.
That's it. Backwards, sideways, back. It's frustrating to watch. Big Six Pants, thank you very much. Big up yourself. Keeping cover fit is a must. Absolutely. He's our best midfielder right now. But the attack is way too bland, in my opinion. Listen, I agree. Half of the attack for me. Individually, not too bad. No one has that X factor at the minute. Mons. Is that Mons from Football Terrace?
I'm not sure.
If I got it, if it is, big up yourself. If I got it wrong, I apologize, and big up yourself anyway. And thank you for the super chat. But yeah, this whole situation with Summer, look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. For me, we need that DM over the line before anything else. In my opinion, that is key. The Kunde situation. The reason why I say that is the defense situation sort of, although we're not replacing in terms of quality for quality right away, but it kind of fixes itself. The Kunde situation has pretty much been dealt with in terms of your future in your Levi Colwill. If Chelsea make the correct decision and keep him, then there's that. And then obviously, we're gonna have to look into bringing in a experienced player to replace the gap. Eventually Thiago Silva is going to lose, because me personally, I'll be very, very, very surprised if he continues on after next season. I think he's done from next season. He retires. So we've got to bring in that experience. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is Koulibaly. But yeah, just like Josh is saying, summer window would be more tense than this season. Yeah, it will be. And especially with Marina Granovskaya at the flipping wheel. Oh, my days. I'm just not looking forward to that. But do you know what? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes she can get it right, but it's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. But that's a conversation for another day.
She needs scouts, man. She needs
No,
scouts.
she does. Yeah, exactly.
But she also needs to stop paying players stupid wages. I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand how that works. And she needs to stop giving 1-year contracts to players that are deadwood, so we can stop trying to get money out of them. Like that's her two biggest issues for me right now. Is I'm not blaming her for who comes in, because she's not a scout. Everybody knows she's not a scout, but she needs to stop offering crazy wages to players that are new and play striker just because they're strikers. I don't know what her philosophy is on that. And she needs to stop giving new contracts to deadwood. That's my two big gripes. And stop looking at the market as an opportunity to make money, and start looking at the market as an opportunity to improve the team. Because everybody knows Malang Sarr don't do shit here. Let's just keep it a buck.
Oh, do you know now?
We all know Barkley don't do shit here. We all know.
I need you to hold that thought, because there was something that you reminded me of. I think it was the winter. Yeah, it was. I was gonna, right after the super chat, I was gonna put up. This was disgusting, because the name that stuck out to my face was flipping Malang Sarr. Some of these are
bro, it's like we don't need this brother. Bro, we had Gurhi, Tomori, and we have Colwell. Like, what we doing here? Oh, he's free. Oh, yeah.
Big up Winter Surfer.
He's free.
Malang Star.
He's now free on stupid wages that nobody wants to pay in Europe. So what now? Taking up space. Like Barkley, same thing. He was 15 million. Great. Conte didn't want him. So what happened? Now he's just here, taking up space. And now Harvey Vale, who's actually talented, is running out of contract in 2023. Another player that could have potentially been in Barkley's position, flirting around the first team, getting some minutes, and actually gives a shit. But again, because we have Barkley, Harvey Vale doesn't get any minutes, so the cycle of bullshit continues. Someone who's just as talented as Cole Palmer, just as talented as McAtee, but can't get any time on the pitch or can't get any opportunities because Barkley's here. And what does Barkley offer? Sweet fuck all. Yes. So it's like
getting drunk and beating up taxi drivers.
we just gotta stop doing this with this market and start looking at it as something where we should actually look to actually improve our team, and therefore we will reap the rewards in the money, because as Todd Bowie believes, the best opportunity to make money is success. Do you know what I'm saying? If you win shit, you're gonna make plenty of money. But if you keep doing up and down this long.
I do have to wrap this up real quick. Although this, I will answer this real quick. Bowley to make a statement signing. Listen, I reckon regardless of who it was, that's the tradition of 9 out of 10 new owners. They come in, they get a quote unquote marquee signing as an introduction to the fans to get them on side. That's usually the way that they do things. So I don't think Ted Bowley's going to do any different. But Matisse, before I actually spin off this, let the people know what you've got coming up on your channel, what you've done already on your channel. They know where they can find you. If they don't, the link is down there in the descriptions, all clickable links. But go ahead.
Yeah, you can find me on MAH on YouTube. I've got a lot of videos this summer that I've got a lot of topics to just talk about, so it's going to be nuts. Obviously, we're going to cover the transfers as well. We're going to get to the end of the season. Obviously, the reviews will be there. I'm not doing previews at the moment because, like, picking your team right now is just completely pointless. It's a waste of everybody's time. So I'm just really talking about the important issues and the topics, you know what I'm saying, and starting the conversations, and that's it. And follow me on Twitch as well. I'm doing the Europa League final stream for Frankfurt versus Rangers, probably about half an hour before kickoff on Twitch. And yeah, big up for having me, bro.
No, man, 100%. And as for this channel, just make sure you hit the notification bell. I will be doing a watch along for the game. I'll do a post match as well. And as for Czar and Troopz, hi ho, it's out this year you go. I-O remix. Whoa.
You are a troll.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. That is what is going on. Eddie, how's he done it? Eddie, how's he done it? Eddie, how's he done it? Hey, bruv, listen, I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going on. But people, them, please, if you are new to this platform, smash up the subscribe button. We are on the road to 10K. Right now, I need you to help me get to 9K, because that is 1K away from 10K. And over here, we got to take baby steps. We do not skip. So let's get to 9K. You lot, this is all down to you lot, yeah. Matisse included, and everybody that's helped on the channel have helped make this happen. And I appreciate you lot so much for doing that. You get me? The channel is healthy, it's growing. I'm enjoying this even more. Like, you lot just give me the energy to get up and do this all the time and to troll the lads, Troopz and Zara and them. Yeah, they're gonna get what they deserve. It's not over. Yeah, do you know why it's not over? Because I will be in Philadelphia, yeah, with man like Expressions, Troopz, and Czar to be trolling in live and living color. Do you know what I mean? So, and hopefully we'll be able to get X and 1 or 2 on Fridays. America is blue. I might get them to just crash in. Oh no, I can't with X. He lands on Saturday. But Czar, I'm gonna have to drag him on, or someone's gonna have to get dragged on there. But make sure you subscribe to Matisse's Twitch so you do not miss that. And as for this show, I think we're going to come down to a close for today. Make sure, like I said, all of that good stuff. Thank you very much interacting in the chat. And before I go, whoa. Arsenal Football Club, you're in the mud. Peace. And my mouse has run out of battery, so I can't actually go. This is the most awkward. You know, in life, I hate. See what I hate in life, yeah, is when you say goodbye and you're still there for like an extra couple minutes for no reason.
It's not your day today, is it?
It's not your day. It's just done to me. It's
not your day. It really is not your day.
It's just waited for me to say goodbye and say, do you know what? I'm gonna make this the most awkward goodbye in front of 200.
So you can't even lock off now.
No, I can't. I've just got the charger in. I'm literally just waffling on, so this doesn't get any more awkward. And hopefully the people don't realize what's going on. No, I'm joking.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes. There we go.
If it was me, I would actually just sit inside.